61% of Dutch houseplants will be dead within a year. 37% of people kill 1 to 2 potted plants every year. There are 13 potted plants in an average Dutch household. 100% of these plants were bought out of love. And so the question arises, why does this happen? I mean, do we just suck at caring for plants? Well, we gave a few people a potted plant and then asked them to care for it and write down their experience for 1 week.
This is the plant, and I did nothing. I moved it to a place with more sunlight after 2 days, and that's it.
After I got the plant, I left it on the kitchen counter for 2 days. Then I got a pot. I watered the plant and put it on the windowsill, and that's where it's been. I've been watering, looking at it, not talking to it, and that's it actually.
This is my plant. I put it in water every 2 to 3 days. I didn't plan it, I just went with it.
So, it certainly seems as though we pretend to care more about our plants than we really do. It's fascinating how we actively want to care for something around us, but we just kind of forget about it. This is something called plant blindness. And this phenomenon is pretty straightforward. Basically, this is you, this is your plant, and this is what you're currently doing instead of caring for your plant. Now, the problem with this is that, of course, it makes your plant pretty sad. Now, the broader issue here is ignorance and neglect towards plants. But why is this such a big problem? And how serious is this problem really? Well, allow me to take you back to the early 1900s. This is the South of America. This is what the South of America currently looks like. Then there's this group called the Civilian Conservation Corps. And they're looking at Japan, because they saw this beautiful and great plant, and they're thinking to themselves, oh my god, I could use this plant. You see, this plant is very special, because all the ground it grows on becomes fertile again. So I can take this plant, and then give it to the poor and struggling farmers in the South, and then they can grow it and finally grow crops again, and everybody profits. Well, what they didn't realize is that this plant is really hard to keep in check, and it grows much, much faster than anybody was anticipating for. The problem here is that nature was seen as just a green background to humanity. Why do we feel like we are better than plants? All the way up until the early 1910s, there's this plant called the American chestnut. Now, there's two things about the American chestnut. First of all, it's really big, and second of all, it's pretty much everywhere. Around this time, wealthy people in New York start looking at Japan again, and they see this other great tree, the Japanese chestnut, and they're thinking to themselves, wow, this is such a cool tree. I wish I could put it in my really big and nice botanical garden. And so they shipped this great tree all the way from Japan over to their great little botanical garden. But see, the problem is that they didn't think that there is also something else attached to the tree, a parasitic fungus known as the chestnut blight. But see, the chestnut blight was only used to eating Japanese chestnut trees, so when it came in contact with American chestnut trees, it just had full reign. These trees had never encountered this parasite before, and they had no way to prepare for it. By 1940, 3.5 billion trees had died. Now, these examples might seem extreme, but ask yourself, how did they start? I'll give you a moment for this. Alright, correct. It's ignorance, neglect, and blindness to plants as living things. They started because humans thought that a plant from all the way across the world was just really pretty, or had a really great function. And so without any second thought, they introduce it to an area that has never seen it before and never should see it. In this way, we literally cheat nature. We turn harmless plants into invaders, invasive species. Let's talk about that term for a little bit. What does that mean exactly? Well, there's two types of alien species. The first is a species living outside of its natural range. The second is a species living outside of its natural range that actively harms the native ecosystem. The second one is what we call invasive. Similarly, weeds. Now, the term weeds is strange because it has no universal definition. There is, however, a widely used one, a species that not only has no detected human value, but actually interferes with human activities. This, however, is an inherently flawed worldview. I mean, who are we to say that certain plants are bad just because they're useless to us? And why do we form plants in such unnatural ways and then view this as better than nature? I mean, why do we dislike useless plants so much? Ignorance, neglect, and plant blindness. Thinking like this can have huge risks and consequences for all life on Earth. We must not forget that plants make up the basis for all life on our entire planet. If invasive plants destroy their native competitors, they destroy everything and completely wipe out their ecosystem in the process.
But nature should run wild and be left alone, right? No, not quite. Humans have introduced a lot of plants in areas where they do not belong. So now we are responsible to ensure that they don't destroy everything. So how will we fix it? Well, we can't. Not as a whole. I mean, we've been treating plants like this for like 1,000 years. Why change now? It will completely disrupt the natural balance, and I'm a really busy person. It's just a plant, right? I mean, plants are way older than humans, and who was even taking care of plants back then? And I mean, who even cares about balance of nature anyway? Yeah, whatever. That's what I thought. Now look at these cool plants. So pretty. Too bad they are invasive. We love easy care plants. That's why we are proudly introducing the Botanarchy Grow Kit. Since humans like to neglect plants, we've selected the finest neglectable plants for you. It's so easy and a great value. It practically grows itself. No more stress, just let the plant do all the work for you. Botanarchy. What's the worst that could happen?